I will let an angel down through the ceiling, and a prophet, and a spirit of the Lord, and the name of all these shall be Michelangelo. Tommaso, there is not a soul on earth more weary than the soul that you are near. Tomorrow, in the winter sun of Rome, the unbound captive will at last stand free, hammered in anguish out of 90 years. The block, reluctant, stubborn, brutish, proud, and one will say he died of kidney stones. Look how the hoarfrost nestles in his beard, wrinkles and hoarfrost, and a mass of stones. Let Mother Florence take her winter's child, and then his fellow, there's the flattened nose, first homage that his springtime paid to truth, and yet a third. And what a monstrous skull! What blundering artist portioned out his frame? Old Buonarroti's first wife. What's her name? 19-year-old Francesca, big with child, fell from her saddle to Caprese's soil, moaning and whimpering. She had marked her son. Does the light fade? I am 1,000 years settled in bondage. Tommaso, bonds of love and hate and loyalty and spite and fear. And yet, I see the day and evening clear. With my old eyes, I bring them to this room, saying with equal pleasure to desire my scowling day, and to the languid night, farewell. There is a road, Tommaso, I must take. Early, too early for the matin bells. Just at that moment, when the faint light swells across the hand of Adam and of God, they, for whose colors I have rubbed my soul, lay out the chisel and my warmest robe. There was a road, a nervous, winding thing, slid out of Florence to importune air. Villas and orchards, oxen, lizards, trees. Where is this Michelangelo, if you please? I'd have his bare foot bleeding in my dust, and I, like a simpleton in awe and trust, hailed the stonecutter's blessing, saw once more the flying chips, the mullet ring, and swore this road, so beautiful, would pass his door. Many and many a summer, many a fall. He wrung my hands and could not speak at all. The road, the boy, the father, how they stared at Ghirlandaio, and the worldly road said, "Welcome, jealousy." And the poor lad said, "Welcome, master," while the parent glared and signed the bond and muttered that his house, the Counts of Canosa, did not welcome trades. Artist or laborer, bah, it is the same. Ditch diggers, road builders, you will sign yourself and all your noble heritage away. Blessed Ludovico, in his father's love, he saw me a great silk merchant, fat and sleek. These hands bejeweled that went ever bare, the stomach pampered that drew Spartan fare, the shoulders cushioned that have ached from strain, a wife beside me who have loved in vain. He left me dabbling in the paints and clay, the gentleman apprentice, age 13. The cypress in the garden sent the road, or else Bertoldo, or the Medici, the pure white statues and the tall dark trees. Who knows? But I was on my knees before a canvas when a clatter rose outside the workroom I had known a year. a gleaming horse, a golden chain, a foot that tapped impatient as the master read a message. This much plainly I could see. Angelo, summoned by the Medici. One who never lifts a wine glass more, not in these 7 decades, touched my fawn with lessened fingers, smiling. You have carved old age and hardship, but have left the teeth. In general, the teeth are wanting at that age. Lorenzo the Magnificent passed on, yet I stole softly to the marble fawn. I'd swear it grinned as if to prophesy. This Angelo could black a critic's eye, and chipped and battered the offending teeth. Truth is the figure lying in the stone. We, with rude hammers, break away the shell, groping and dreaming, how an inch away, a foot, a hand's breadth, we shall find a hand, an arm, a knee, a pure immortal face, a thought that breathes and pulses out of fear. You will not heed her calling, not so near, not so, my Angelo. My side is here, and there my shoulders and my curving cheek. And as you liberate her, she will speak. By heaven, Tommaso, there is speech in stone. The road had given me palaces of art. Pico, the living, Dante, the alive, the prior of San Marco in his cowl, the campanile of Giotto by the moon, the ghost of Donatello, and the form of old Masaccio, painted to implore, beg, steal the parable of flesh and soul. My candlelight, while others groaned and snored, laid open corpses in a convent room. The romance of muscles, poetry of bone, sorrow and agony, and hope and dread, under the veiling tissues of a man. Meanwhile, I heard that devil of a road. I'll feed you beauty to the ends of time, to roam and fatten, but no sooner there, be off to Florence. If you draw the blind, you'll find him, careless, loitering at the door, his boots spit-polished and his horse afoam, a shade, a phantom seeming not to care how long the traveler takes him to prepare. To Florence, I am starved to be at home. Here, I must listen to that old refrain. 34 tons of marble for my tomb. The great white blocks of marble in the square. Where are they? Vanished? Stolen? Are you still brooding of giant figures in the crags of deep Carrara while I cringe in shame? I'll build a drawbridge to your very soul, and night and day, I, Julius, will be there, my solitary sculptor. If you dare to lift your hammer to a single stone, I'll cane you, hear me? Shouting with a voice from all the heavens. When will it be done? When will the work be done? He thunders now, and even as I answer, when I can, the shadowy cane uprises, and the man. I'm not a painter, but a sculptor, sire. Give me a mountain. Let young Raphael paint 10,000 feet of chapel for your grace. You might as well have pleaded with the wall. He'd have me paint the vault, lunettes and all, crawling about the platform in the gloom like Plato's god, who did the best he could with what he had to work with, cramped and cold, quarrelling with rascals whom Bramante hired to rig the scaffolds for a sudden death. The breeches maketh that the pious Paul set on my judgment, to the jeers of Rome, and far of laughter of the ancient Greeks. Our own Daniele, He can witness how a man feels, lying there upon his back, between the floor and ceiling, in a dream, sleeping and eating little, caring less how fast the hours are swallowed into years. A creature dwelling on the sun and moon, with paint upon his lashes, caked and dried. The blue of Adam and the gold of Eve, the waves of deluge on my beard and chin, the drunken Noah moistening my lips, and David, Moses, Judith, pouring forth the allegory of my native land, my Florence whom the David could not shield. Jealousy is the offspring of a toad. You, the cavalier, cannot know the depths of passion in a jealous heart. But turn you from fair to darkness, break your nose, fade the great eyes in luster, shrink them down, shape you a little tragedy of man, and bid it shuffle at Da Vinci's side. The graceful, tall Da Vinci, in his robe of scarlet, striding like a younger Zeus. You'd curse and envy, wouldn't you? The same? Bramante and that lower prince of hell, Nani de Baccio, have repaid me well, in terms of jealousy, defamed my house, my name, my honest dealings as I were road builder of Serravezza, and no more. Gismondo, Giovanni Simone at the door. Tell them the drudge has left them all he has. Wandered through Italy to get them bread. Said yeah to tyrants to secure them land. Hungered and sweated while they took his gold. Nor saw he suffered, nor that he grew old. My brothers are all dead, my father too. My poor old father, whom I had in mind, painting the chapel, painting almost blind. If he were warm, what mattered where I blew from rags in winter? And he never saw what it had cost me. Body, mind, and soul. And not my nephew? No. I see him there, the restless stranger and the narrow road, twisting and perilous and steep. Farewell. And if, Tommaso, in some other world, God sets my hand to pictures and to stone, he who sustained me in a perfect trust, I shall not fail to render what I see before me now. Undying faith and love.